Hi, it's Paul again, back with another video vlog, and this time I want to talk about, from more of a therapist point of view, I want to talk about parenting. So many times I get people asking me, is there a right way or a wrong way to parent? And I always say yes, there's definitely a wrong way to parent. Any way that causes abuse, physical harm, long-term emotional harm, or even short-term emotional harm to a child or another person in general is the wrong way to parent. Now, is there a perfect way to parent? No, I haven't found that. I've been working with families for 20 years. James Dobson, Dr. James Dobson, he says, parenting is not for cowards. That's a very true statement. Unfortunately, a lot of people think they can have a baby and life's going to be perfect. This little baby bundle of joy will grow up and never back talk, never get in trouble, never act out, and all the perfect child. I've never seen one. I've been working 20 years in the field. I haven't seen it. There are some things, though, that as a parent, across the board, whatever ethnicity, whatever background you come from, you got to understand. One, you're going to parent like you were parented or like you weren't parented. So if you grew up in a broken home, in an angry home, or abusive home, you've got to be very careful, because your natural instincts and human nature will go back to how you were parented. You may never abuse a child if you were raised up in an abused home, but you may also not set healthy boundaries around right and wrong because you're afraid of getting too close to that abuse line, or maybe trigger yourself over that abuse line, or hurt you too much to say no to a child because you were always said no to. So you got to remember that our past parenting, how we were parented, will directly affect how we were parented, how we parent. So when you look at this, like I said, there's a few things in common that are good. Talking to your children, not necessarily getting their opinion on everything. I've heard mothers say, "What would you like to eat, Johnny? Would you like to eat a cheeseburger and french fries? Would you like to eat chicken nuggets?" And Johnny's 4. Johnny just knows food. So giving them that kind of choice too early confuses them. Sometimes making the choices for them, and as they get older, giving those opportunities really make a big difference. Talking to them, but not letting them control everything. What time do you want to go to bed? 10 o'clock. And they're 5 years old or 6 years old going to first grade. It's too late. It's not healthy for the little ones. You've got to remember that as a parent, your job is to put boundaries and guidelines around your children. This ball represents a child. If I just drop it and I don't put my hands on it, it just falls and rolls wherever it wants. That's a child. As a parent, my job is to put my hand around the child and help guide it where it needs to go. As the child gets older, the ball gets bigger, I can take my hands off and be ready to help them if they need it. But the ball will eventually take off on its own. But when they're little and they're tiny, and I'm talking all the way through their teen years, they're children. Think about this. When was the last time you heard a mother tell a 10-year-old, "Well, you're old enough to do that"? Think about this. He's only been alive 10 years. They might not be old enough to know to do right or wrong. Because of 10 years, they may not have learned that. I know people that I've worked in therapy with they were 60 years old and didn't know right or wrong from certain things. So don't assume because your child's 10, 13, 16, 18, that they automatically know right from wrong. That's an assumption that causes parents and children a lot of problems. Well, they should know you should take the trash out. At 10 years old, I told them, take the trash out. Okay, but video games have a big pull. I'm playing video games. Oh, let me take the trash out. What? Nope, didn't hear you. I need to get their attention and say, I need you to stop, go take the trash out, and then get back to what you're doing. Because that's what I need you to do. The I language, which we'll talk about in another video, is important. But remember, now we have ADHD. We have all these issues, sugar control, and all this other stuff going on with our kids. ADHD children are no different than regular children. They've got more energy, and the only parenting difference is you've got to focus that energy a little tighter because they're all over the place. The normal child goes like this, But ADHD goes like this. So a parent's got to kind of come in and let that ball move, but kind of help guide it a little tight, like this, a little bit more active. That's what ADHD children are like to parent. I worked with them all the time. It's not easy, but it can be done in a healthy way. Parenting is not for cowards. If you're thinking about having a kid because you want to save your marriage, don't do it. It will not help a marriage that is in trouble. Don't. I will destroy the marriage because it will add extra stress and extra pressure to a marriage that's already under trouble. So don't do it to save a marriage. It's time to have a child because you and your partner are ready to develop a relationship where one comes this way, one comes this way, and you're working in unison to raise this child. This child is not one parent. Many people are forced to a one-parent home, and then you have to be both. You have to do this to help the child grow. But in a two-parent home, you should be doing this, working together. And if you're in a one-parent home, you need to get support systems, churches, schools, family, friends, and you need to be able to go to them sometimes and have them help you keep that child in the right balance, the right boundaries. It's not impossible. It is a lot of work. I'm not going to say it's not. But remember this, parents. The number one rule, the only thing that matters to a child, it's not how much money you have. It's not how big your house is. It's how much love you give them. Oh, I know, come Christmas, only have one gift, but if you love that child will not remember that one gift 20 years. They'll remember, Mom loved me. Dad, you play catch with them, you talk with them, play dolls with your little girls, have fun with them, go play catch with your little girls or boys, it doesn't matter. Just spend that time. Time is more valuable to a child than all the money in the whole world. This is Therapist Paul, just giving you some parenting tips for the future. Be well.